I am a born and raised New Yorker who has never explored his own city. A month ago, I made it my mission to explore the weirdest places New York has to offer to gain enough knowledge of my city to reclaim my status as a New Yorker again. In today's quest, I gathered some of the craziest 1-star Yelp reviews of NYC tourist attractions to test if they're actually as bad as people say they are. And I know what you're thinking. Tyreek, what an original idea. A 1-star Yelp review video? Never been done before. I'm actually shocked. Not a single person has ever thought of this idea before. Hi, how are ya? This is absolutely a scam. However, if you go in knowing that, you can have a good experience. Thanks, Emily, for the heads up. If you stepped in New York for longer than 15 seconds, you've seen these guys with the red coats and pamphlets. Their job is to sell you a ticket for a tour bus of the city. If you're a tourist, I suppose their legal job title would be tour bus representative. But to everyone that knows better, we call them hustlers. This is a total hustle. Lots of waiting, like over 30 minutes, without ever stating what time the bus was really leaving, and there was no tour guide. This is a total scam. So essentially, you ride around the bus with no explanation, but that's not what they sell you. And then, when we asked about the bathroom, the salesman guilted me into tipping him. Begging for money to use the restroom? Who was the salesman? Mr. Krabs? Only because zero wasn't an option. We wasted 2 hours of our day in NYC waiting for an every 45-minute bus that never came. No phone number to contact.
You were calling New York Iconic.
It went straight to the machine. But they did respond to several emails telling us that the bus was coming shortly. We finally gave up, along with many others waiting, and walked. We waited again at several other stops and never saw a bus. They also refused to refund our tickets. Don't use. We saw plenty of big buses, which is another tour bus company. This entire company sucks. Do not get scammed by these con artists. We've been sitting on this damn bus for an hour. We drove 3 blocks, and now they are parked cramming people who are sitting on another bus onto ours. There aren't enough seats, and now people are fighting. What a goddamn nightmare. Save your money. Don't believe these grifters. And then she gave an update. The driver parked the bus and left it with a few passengers. After 15 minutes, we bailed and caught a cab back. And then she posted a picture. Con artists. Here is what we know about the tour bus company so far. Number 1. No tour bus guide on the tour bus ride. Oh, it's your first time in New York and you'd actually like to know about the place? Tough luck, buddy. Number 2. No tour bus on the tour bus ride. Oh, you paid $50 for a tour bus of the city and you actually want to ride it? Not my problem. Number 3, egregiously long wait times and salesmen who hustle you out of money to use the restroom. Oh, we kept you waiting for 2 hours for a 75-minute bus ride and you might want to use the restroom during that time? Give me money. Now we're gonna do this Ryan Trahan style. And if you haven't watched a testing 1-star Yelp review video before, the challenge is I have to test if each 1-star review is legit. And at the end of it, I have to give a 5-star review of the place, and I cannot lie. The only problem with that is if this company is as much of a scam as all the reviews say that it is, I don't feel morally right putting a 5-star review for a business ran by con artists, even for a YouTube video. So to comply with the challenge, if these reviews are valid, I'll still leave a very well-written, honest review. It'll just be 1 star. Because even for a YouTube video, I don't want to give a bad place positive press. You know what I mean? Let's do this. It was what I would say if I actually got on the tour bus. Spoiler alert, I actually got kicked off the bus. I know, I'm just as disappointed as you guys. And you're probably thinking, but Tyreek, kicked off the bus? How? Didn't you buy a ticket? You must have been acting like a complete maniac for them to do such a thing. Nah, what happened was that this company is as close to an actual tour scam as any company can get. And I accidentally fell in between a rivalry between 2 different tour bus companies. Let me walk you through my experience. I purchased my ticket online, and at around 6:30 p.m., I walked over to the designated bus stop site, and the literal moment I spoke to the first tour bus representative, everything went downhill.
What do you mean? Buy the ticket. Buy.
Yeah, Yeah, I already got some of them.
You know those pamphlet guys I talked about earlier? Yeah, 3 of them were in an argument in front of the bus I was supposed to be on.
One of the con men said that the tickets were $5. Sir, I paid $50 online.
Yeah, you heard that right. Apparently someone from another tour bus company came to their bus stop offering $5 tickets when the original company was selling them for $50. And that was what the original argument was about. And this wasn't some friendly corporate competition. Nah, this was beef. If they argued for 30 more seconds, they probably would have said, screw the $5. These hands are free 99. Crazy part is, they were arguing so bad, I got singled out. Sir, I am a paying customer. What did I do?
Bro, this is for my own video. How would you know I work for Top View? How would you know? Who said that? Who? The seller.
One of the con men saw my handheld camera and thought, no joke, no exaggeration, that I was an undercover spy for the competitor company. What? The entire time he kept asking me why I had a camera, and I'm just thinking, wow, silly me. How foolish of me to think that a device commonly used to capture memories would actually be allowed on a trip meant to capture memories. My bad, chief. Yeah, and then he finally gained an extra brain cell and realized I was a paying customer regardless and let me on. First impressions, the entire bus was vacant. Goku and Vegeta, let's fight somewhere empty type beat. So obviously, as an aspiring YouTuber, I took this opportunity to take some fire B-roll shots. And may I add, I was looking aesthetic as hell. After this glorious shot, one of the employees motioned over to me to get off the bus.
Come down? All right, perfect. They tell me to come down, so I don't know what the
Freak!
it's all about.
Apparently the bus I was on wouldn't have left until an hour later, but there was another bus leaving in a few minutes up the road. Why didn't they mention this before I boarded the bus? Your guess is as good as mine. The only caveat was that they told me that I had to wait for another bus employee to walk me to said bus stop. And I was like, alright. But as I was waiting, I heard another tour bus employee arguing with another tourist.
Oh yeah, okay, as soon as you get on this bus, when I got on this bus, this bus gonna leave 1 hour. This bus is leaving now. Listen to me. We don't lie. We're telling you the bus.
From what I gathered, the employee lied about the time the bus was actually supposed to leave, and the customer wanted a refund. But according to them, once the receipt is printed, there are no refunds. They're currently 2-0 when it comes to arguing with customers. Am I at a tour bus or Popeyes? After 15 minutes of waiting, a lady approached me who I assumed to be the manager. And I'll let you guys decide what you think happened next. Did she A, take responsibility for the longer wait times, B, take responsibility and apologize for 2 employees arguing with 2 different customers, or C, literally just tell me I'm not allowed to ride the bus anymore without a legitimate explanation?
So something crazy happened. I just got kicked off the bus because I think they think I was undercover for another tour bus company.
I asked why I can't ride anymore, and her only reason was they don't want you on the bus. Now, I'm no detective, but I think it's very clear who they was. So I figured, if you're gonna kick me off the bus because you think I'm a spy for the competitor company anyways, why don't I just literally interview the competitor?
Good evening, guys. How you doing?
Let me see, we got that right there, Top View.
Top View. Whoever rides the iconic tour buses, they're lying to them. They got the worst service.
Yeah.
Once they buy tickets, they make you sit there for 2-3 hours. You saw it. And then they just go around the blocks right here, but they're not really doing the tour.
Yeah, so it's a waste time, waste money.
Time, waste money.
Appreciate
So what we do?
You're a tourist, you come to New York City, and you want to ride a tour bus. If you listen to nothing else I have to say, listen to this. Remember, there was a guy from another tour bus company that came to their block selling $5 tickets, while the first company sold them for $50.
Bus stop was here at 42nd Street and 7th Avenue.
And you would think a price like that would completely undermine them, and they'd get no business. But if you walk just a few blocks up
This 47th Street and 7th Avenue, you will find the bus stop where the competitor company is also located.
But what you'll also see is the first tour bus company, you know, the one I paid $50 for online, were selling those same exact tickets for $5 at the competitor bus stop. I literally saw the same woman that told me I couldn't get on the bus selling these tickets for $5 at 47th Street and 7th Ave. Now, this is where the scam artist reviews start making a little bit more sense. Imagine paying 10 times the cost of something online for something that the company is secretly selling up the block for way cheaper. And that's what's so conniving about these tourist traps. They don't care about your experience, they care about your money. As a newcomer, they prey on your excitement about being in a new city, and even if they don't scam you out of money, they scam you out of an experience by overcharging you for a half-assed experience because they know that you don't know any better. To their credit, they did end up refunding me a day later for kicking me off the bus. It just sucks knowing that if I was an actual tourist from another country with an accent and broken English, they probably would have been way more rude than they were, and they probably would have found multiple different ways to hustle me out of my money. And now, unfortunately, I didn't get to ride the actual bus, so I couldn't properly test these reviews. Based on the fact of how rude, unprofessional, and just downright scammy people are at that tour bus company, I'm going to assume that every 1-star review is valid. And for a moment of truth, here is my review.
This is the Balloon Museum, which is exactly how it sounds like. It's a museum whose main art form is balloons. It couldn't be any more straightforward than that. Based on the website promos, it looks freaking beautiful though. It seems like such a cool place. What bad thing could anyone possibly have to say about this place? I hated it here. My kids almost got suffocated in the balloon pool. What? And when I tried to talk to someone about the issue, they literally stuck their fingers in their ears and mocked me. Not what you'd expect as a response from a business. Days later, I find out me and my friend's kids all have pink eye. Coincidence? Not sure. And we met/parted ways there, so it wasn't from any other interaction unless the same guy farted in 4 kids' faces. What? Unlikely. What do I know? Not to mention, this is not a museum. There's a glorified influencer hole built in a bare warehouse with a fixture of inflated rubber. This place also smelled of something nasty, like dirt and rotting meat. What? I mean, compared to that, Cassidy's seem a bit more tame. So expensive for such a short and underwhelming experience. It was only an Instagram photo shoot location. Experience only lasted around a half hour. I mean, can you blame them? If a place looked that good, I'd spend half an hour posing in front of a camera too. Then Jessica brings us back to reality with, first off, the place is just crazy packed. Got in almost 30 minutes of waiting. People just walk and bump all into you. I was greeted by being yelled at by the security within a few minutes. She was honestly ruder than TSA, acting like she's the police. It was rude. I was in shock. Never coming back, that's for sure. I would put no star if I could. Jessica, I'm not calling you a liar, but ruder than the TSA? Who's hiring security there? Lex Luthor? Here's everything we know about the Balloon Museum so far. Number 1, and bear with me here, suffocation and the risk of getting pink eye a couple days later. Yeah, I don't know either. Number 2, it is a very short experience and a glorified Instagram photo shoot location. Yeah, the ticket was $50. If I spent that money for a 30-minute TikTok session, I am going to cry. Number 3, crazy packed and security guards ruder than the TSA. Are any of these reviews legit? Did I just throw away $50? Am I going to get pink eye for a YouTube video? There's only one way to find out.
First things first, we went through a scanner and went inside the factory warehouse location, where they handed me this shoe covering material to, you guessed it, cover my shoes. And let's take a second to appreciate this fire transition. As we got further in, my first thoughts were, damn, I cannot lie. The website was not false advertising. This place is beautiful. I mean, just look at me here. I'm literally in a vortex.
Wow, how pretty. I don't know how to explain it. I'm kind of dizzy.
But then I remembered I came here for a purpose and decided to lock in. I got inside this red room with the giant balloons where I decided to test the first 1-star review.
Nah, it smells just fine.
Busted. It didn't smell like rotten meat and flesh at all. It smelled like, well, it didn't smell like anything. Kind of neutral, I guess. I mean, what can I say? Next, we went into this room with these inflatable punching bags. You know, like the ones from Kung Fu Panda. And I remember how disrespectful this thing was in a movie. So you know I had to spin the block for my man Poe.
Oh, they have these little faces on it.
Afterwards, we walked down this mysterious hallway, and to be honest, it's not looking all too packed. I gotta be honest with you, Jessica, it's not looking too good for you right now. But after walking through this hallway, that's where I faced my next challenge. The ball pit room! If you remember, this was the room where, and I quote, kids almost suffocated and gotten pink eye. Needless to say, I was not looking forward to this one. But in the name of science and YouTube views, I will do so. Here goes nothing. Obviously, I am bigger than a mere child, so my test was to see how plausible it is for a toddler to suffocate in a balloon pool.
And I can indeed confirm, I am suffocating.
Now, I'm basically 6 foot and around 170 pounds, and it even took me a quick second to get back to the surface. So I won't declare this as a definite valid, but it's definitely plausible. But to be honest, suffocation was the least of my worries. I've never gone pink-eyed before in my life, and I am not starting today. But to my dismay, the second I stepped out of the ball pit, my eyes got itchy. I escaped the ball pit room within an inch of my life, and I found myself in another illuminated hallway. Going back to Jessica's review, I did encounter a line here, but we moved up literally 30 seconds after this clip. Yeah, there's a lot of people, but relative to the size of the space, crazy packed is a stretch. It really ain't looking too good for you, Jessica. The 30-second wait was worth it though, because up next, we went inside this bubble machine room. Ooh, so pretty, wow. Took off my shoe covering and went inside the Flying Intimates chocolate donuts room. Ooh. Next, I went inside the room where Squidward got trapped in the future. Then I participated in a friendly game of catch with the world's spikiest death ball. Ooh. I also saw a girl pose in front of the ball like she's about to tell me that the planet will blow up in 5 minutes. And this gives me the perfect space to talk about the elephant in the room. The thing 2 out of the 3 1-star reviews criticized. Everyone is taking pictures. And to that I say, what else do you expect them to do? I get it if you had no idea what you were getting into, but this is one of the most unique and interactive art museums I've ever seen. This ain't the freaking Louvre. You can tell the artist meant this to be an experience and a memory meant to be captured. So this basically being an Instagram photo shoot, valid, asterisk, I think that was what the artist intended. By the way, they literally have designated areas where you were meant to take pictures. Anyways, moving on. I tried acting like I was the Weeknd at that one Super Bowl halftime. And finally, to end the night, they took us to this section with VR headsets. Of course, I couldn't record what I was actually seeing, but so you don't get bored, instead, I'll play some epic music in the background while you watch me spin in my chair. I walked in at 6:20 p.m. and left at 7:15 p.m. So literally almost a full hour. Cassidy must have been speed running this entire exhibit because this was nowhere near 30 minutes. Busted. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for. How rude was the security really? Are they worse than the TSA? Or is Jessica once again lying to us? In order for this test to be accurate, I can't just go out of my way to provoke them because that's just dumb. So instead, I decided to see what would happen if I simply said hi to every security I walked by in this exhibit to see their reaction. Because surely, only a rude person would react badly to someone else being friendly.
What's up, bro? Doing good. Let's go, bro.
Good evening, sir. I hope you have had a thoroughly enjoyable experience. Please come again soon.
Huh, everyone said hi back. That doesn't seem ruder than the TSA to me. Busted. Sorry, Jessica. Oh, and also, I don't have pink eye, thank God. Well, would you look at that? Out of all the reviews tested, only one turned out to be valid, and even that had an asterisk. Anyways, here's my review.
Have you ever thought to yourself, man, I wonder what it would be like to take a boat tour ride of the Statue of Liberty? Well, apparently Nate still feels that way too. Awful experience. 3 hours and couldn't even get on the boat. Never go back. Wasted $300 and the boat looked like it was going to sink. Terrible. They are just the worst. Terrible service. They really don't care about the experience they provide. Clearly just going through the motions. The pier looks like where the mafia would dump a body. Super sketchy and unsafe. There are a lot of other tour operators. Pick literally any other one. This is the second review where it talks about it being super sketchy and unsafe. Hopefully this isn't a pattern. The boat itself was like a tin can on the water. dear God. And finally, Elizabeth is reassuring us with a terrible, terrible experience. Too crowded and too hot. It was a struggle to squeeze myself outside for a view of the Statue of Liberty. I recommend you to try a different company. Here's everything we know about the Liberty Cruise so far. Number 1, sketchy and unsafe boat ride. And a pier, apparently, that looks like it came straight out of The Godfather. Number 2, unbearably crowded and you have to squeeze yourself outside just to see the Statue of Liberty. Number 3, overall, the service isn't the best and the employees are pretty much just going through the motions. Now, I'm not the type of person who blindly follows reviews online. However, if you look on Yelp.com, you can clearly see that there are well over 100 reviews made about this cruise and 88 were 1 stars. Only thing left to do now is to ride that metal death trap, huh? Hopefully I'm able to carry my camera this time. Like what the heck was that?
You know the first thing I had to do was check out the dock. But let's be honest, this is the Hudson River we're talking about. There was no need to check. If you're from New York, you already know the diabolical activities underneath these waters. Valid. I walked on this metal walkway that may as well have been held together by string and duct tape. Something straight out of Ed, Edd and Eddy. First impressions, I can say with the utmost confidence that this is exactly what I expect a 1-star boat to look like. This ain't no Mr. Beast $100 million super yacht. At this rating, you'd be happy if this thing leaves the dock in one piece. This is also where the first review immediately loses credibility. Overcrowded? Where? I've seen more ticket sales at a New York Jets game. I'm sorry guys, Aaron Rodgers is not saving us. I sat down in my chair, of course with a window view, and I took in the atmosphere of the ride and passengers.
We're moving.
That's when the coolest announcer I've ever heard hopped on the mic.
Being the most diverse place linguistically on earth. No other place more linguistically diverse.
You hear that accent? That's 100% authentic Italian New Yorker. Don't be surprised if he's the one sending the bodies in the water. But as much as I enjoyed listening to him, I couldn't focus on a word cause I was freezing. Who would have thought going out in the middle of water in 30-degree New York weather would actually leave you cold? Beats me. That's when I decided to test the next review. How safe is this boat really? Is it passable or am I going to drown halfway through this ride? But then, that's when I encountered a plethora of lifesaver jackets near the bow. Would an unsafe boat have these much life jackets on board? I don't think so. Would an unsafe boat have a lifesaver on board? I don't think so. Would an unsafe boat have rust coming from the ceiling? I don't think so. Would an unsafe boat have freaking $8 hot dogs? The boat may be safe, but my wallet definitely ain't. But for real though, this was a $30 ticket. That's like buying a steak for $5 and wondering why you have food poisoning the next day. You get what you pay for. This is as safe as $30 can get you. Busted. I explored the outside of the boat a little bit more while listening to the announcer spit some absolute facts about New York.
And where One World Trade Center is today is where the original Twin Towers of the World Trade Center stood. And today is the home of the 9/11 Memorial.
But then, something really cool happened. If you remember the last video where I traveled in New York City, I met some really cool people at each place we went to. I was starting to get worried that I wouldn't meet anyone new this time around. But then, here comes Karthik. Another tourist riding the boat, and it's his first time in New York.
It's 5-star.
5-star in our hearts.
I don't
5
know.
stars.
If 5-star is so minimum, I'm gonna give 100-star as well. It's incredible. It's super.
stars.
Yes. I really enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed. I look forward to see you again.
Let's go. We're safe. We're safe. We're safe and sound. When you're getting on, was it sketchy? Like, do you feel like kind of sketchy? It was like a tin can.
No. It was sketchy. It was good actually. I have no apprehensions. I was delighted to be here.
I'm delighted to be with you as well. Awesome. There you go.
Thank you very much.
And I asked Karthik to take a B-roll of me looking aesthetic as hell.
Just record me.
All right. So how do I start actually?
I know, I actually already started.
All right,
Yeah, so you're
all
all
right.
good. Yeah. Just standing right over here.
All right.
No, like you stand right over here. You stand right over here.
Okay. Got it.
And then I'm just going to look away. So it's for a video.
And this was the result.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sometimes you don't understand the value of where you live until you see the excitement on someone else's
Thank
face
you.
who's
Thank you.
visiting here. For example, despite being here my entire life, I've never been to or seen the Statue of Liberty up close before. But then, there she was, in all her magnificent glory. Yep, I did that.
So this definitely is not a 1-star ride. I feel safe. The mafia has not arrived yet, and I forgot what the third thing was. Oh, and the people here are pretty nice, especially the announcer. I don't know what the 1-star reviews are talking about. It looks like these reviews are all busted. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Thanks for watching, guys.